Hi everyone, it's me. I wanted to talk about rape and why people don't tell, and kind of the psychology behind it, or trying to tie it together, because I was raped when I was 19 in the military 30 years ago by a fellow soldier, and I didn't tell because I didn't tell for 30 years, I should say. Well, no, let me break that. I told after 10 years, and then I was kind of dismissed. And then I finally started talking after 20 years. I went to the VA and I started connecting with other vets and talking, telling my story, etc. But I want to tell you why most people don't come forward, talk, whatever. It just doesn't come up in conversation. Number one, it's probably the most unpleasant thing you can blurt out. And second of all, when you do tell, and you tell someone who has not had the same experience you've had, you get the who, what, where, when, and why. And you get drilled as if you're sitting under a spotlight in an interrogation room, and here it goes. And the who was it? Well, so you know who it was. What? They're like, what? What are you talking about? So you get the what, where, there's a where, when, and why. And the most poignant thing you can think of is you can't really answer why. Everyone said, well, why? Why did this happen? You must have done something to make this person believe you wanted to have sex with them. And I'll tell you what, I did not ever tell the person who raped me that I wanted to be raped. I never told anyone who harassed me that I wanted to be harassed. I never showed an interest in anyone that crossed the line. And I'm letting you know the problem is that I was raised to be polite and friendly and kind, and whatever the case is. So when you have a girl who's polite, friendly, and kind, and a guy smiles at you and you smile back, some people, not all, will take that as an invitation to say hello, ask me out, harass, stalk, whatever the case. There's different levels here. But there's there's no there's I really can't explain why it's so very difficult to talk about. And a lot of people are just nosy. When you're raped and you're violated, the last thing you want to do is say, well, I was raped and this is exactly what happened. It's horribly, first of all, it's painful, it's embarrassing, it's shameful, it's guilt-ridden. It's a lot of times we carry the blame ourselves, and it's even though it's irrational, it's a lot of times you're thinking, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it from happening. It's like I said before. So when people say, why didn't you talk? There's 1,000,001 reasons why I didn't talk. And number one, it's because I never had known anyone who had been raped, sexually assaulted, etc. And number two, there were no support groups. There was no avenues to turn. And a lot of times, victims of sexual violence, sexual assault, rape, etc., say, I'll deal with it later. I'll just deal with it later. And that's what we do. We say we'll deal with it later, but it's the later, whatever. But what we don't understand, and what I didn't understand, was that I would deal with the aftershocks, the repercussions, the whole change in who I was psychologically, mentally, emotionally, etc. I never realized that my rape would cause such an impact in my life. Impact, most important, in how I valued myself and in all of my intimate relationships. Because when you're raped, You view yourself as damaged goods. Who would want me? Who is going to want to have a relationship with someone who's been damaged or torn apart or whatever the case is? It changes who you are as everything. It changes your mindset. Prior to my rape, I was easygoing and, I saw the rainbows and stars and all that. And after the rape, it was almost as if a cloud followed me all over the place. It was, I never was assured, I never was able to make good, healthy decisions about my value in a relationship. And that's all there was to it. So, all I know is that that's what I wanted to say. It's just talk about why a lot of people don't talk. It's the last thing you want to do is see a rapist in court. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. It's I faced my rapist after 30 years, but I can't imagine being brutalized and raped and then telling and to have to go through court shortly after a trauma like that. I can't even imagine. So I had 30 years to prepare to see my rapist. And all that I know was I don't think it was any easier. But I did a ton of therapy before I went to court. And I'm so glad I did, because it was like I didn't sleep. I just didn't sleep because I didn't know what I was walking into the courtroom, and and his reaction, or if I was going to be safe. So anyhow, that's why a lot of people don't talk. But when they do, it's very important you just let them talk, because they don't want to be interrogated or grilled. They're finally ready to talk, and they're ready to release this incredible burden that they've been carrying, whether it's for a day, 10 days, a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the case is. Just let them talk. And then if you're not equipped to handle what you're going to hear, make sure you also walk with your friend or family member or whomever it is that is disclosing this information to you. Help them find a resource, a group, a hotline, or something, so they can finally talk and tell their story, and hopefully and possibly get their rapist or assailant prosecuted prior to statute of limitations running out. So that's all I want to talk about. There's really no rhyme or reason. I really can't explain everything, but that's all I wanted to let everyone know. Talk. Journal. Keep track of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and what you're going through, and please seek help. I can't stress enough how important it is to seek help, talk to someone, and get therapy as soon as possible. So anyways, that's what I want to talk about, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye-bye.